I know that people complain a lot about like Americanizing Japanese anime, but they don't understand how much time it takes to actually sub it. So how long does it actually take to sub it?
Believe it or not, it doesn't take very long to sub it at all. In fact, it was put to the test when they were doing... To dub it, even, I mean, like, a little bit longer, but not much. The last volume of Nerima Daikon Brothers that we did was just because of a production push. We did the entire cast's recording, including all of those songs, because each episode had like 18 or 19 songs in it. They're like little short songs, but... and the mixing and the bounce for the DVD was done in under 2 weeks. So that's super fast, because it took us a year to record Beck. It took us longer to record Beck than it did to record all of Full Metal Alchemist and the movie. So some shows are more difficult to record than others, but if you set yourself for a fast pace, if you're like, look, we only have 2 weeks, if you need to produce fast, you can. It definitely is. Yeah, if you don't have to, because the way Funimation likes to work, they like to work way ahead of schedule. So like, it's so funny because when they announced the cast of Sengoku Basara, we had finished it like six or 7 weeks before that. So they're like, and that was the same thing with Ouran High School Host Club. That was the funniest because when they announced the cast, everybody's like, I really hope you have fun working on Ouran. I'm like, we finished it last year. Like, we're done. We're done with the whole show. I like that because it's in the bag and there's no reason, like if there's a technical reason the release is delayed, fine, but the stuff is there and it's ready to roll. ADV used to roll on a really tight production schedule. Like I remember we did the first Full Metal Panic disc in under a month. Like it was a super fast production process. You can set the speed whatever you like.
I know there's lots of editing with certain things that Japanese DVDs have, and then you publish it to the English.
Well, in many cases, we get more than the Japanese version. Like in the case of Negima and Burst Angel, we had the animation cleaned up, and things were added to both shows that were not in the original broadcast versions. I do want to point out, though, you said something about the Americanizing of certain shows. I want to at least say this, and I will say this first. I am by no means a fan of people that make things for kids, but but you cannot blame 4Kids for what happened to One Piece. As much as I did not like the yo-yo-yo One Piece, most of those changes were asked for by the Japanese. And a lot of times, I know in the case with many shows I've worked on where there was a legal problem with the show, like with Detective Conan, which is called Case Closed in the States. Someone has the rights to Conan the anything in the United States. The people that own the rights to Conan the Barbarian. You cannot have Conan the Librarian, Conan the cross-dressing, crossing guard. You can't have Conan the anything. And so here's the dilemma. Do you get involved in a giant litigious fight, legally to like, oh, we have to be called this? Or do you just make one small alteration and produce that story? And in the mind of the Japanese, production companies, they're like, well, no, just get it on TV. Just do what you need to. Get it on TV. Because, like I said, Dragon Ball proved that if you get something on TV, you have a banner audience. Like, you have a huge audience. So, in many cases, things have been changed, and they were at the cost, they were at the request of the Japanese. I do want to say that because as much as I'm an anime fan and don't want to hear about Hollywood Mew Mew or a lot of other weird choices people have made, I can't completely let 4Kids fall on the knife for One Piece. I'm glad that it was decided to do a real version of One Piece where the pirates were a little scary, but it can't all be blamed on 4Kids. 4Kids can be blamed for a lot of things, but not that. So I'll leave it at that.
I just found out this morning, I was looking at Anime News Network, but there's apparently some fan subgroups that only fan sub the shows that Funimation is streaming.
Wow.
Yeah, and one of them is just the name of it was funny guys spelled with like the Funimation's F-U-N-I, or F-U-N-I, yeah.
That's, I mean, if there's any proof that there are people that are working against the very industry that they say they love, that's it. Like, if there's any proof of it, because Funimation, if Funimation has the rights to stream something, chances are they're producing it for an American audience too. And someone doing that just to be kind of crappy, like, it's, I know they think they're cute, they're not. Like, I guess I'm old and I'm kind of an old fart now, but all of that stepping on each other's toes and all of that is all counterproductive to what we want. People that said there was no industry problem 5 or 6 years ago got to watch Shin'yon disappear. People that claim that the anime industry in the States is not connected to the anime industry in Japan, who have watched now the decline of the anime industry in the States and now the total dissolution of 3 studios in Japan, cannot lie to themselves anymore. And I don't understand why people would do that. And I don't... My mic cut out. The aliens have finally gotten the PA. Y'all weren't here earlier. The PA was making all kinds of funny noises. But I don't know why anybody would do it, and I get a little frustrated because at times the anime industry is okay with people doing that. And there's still a giant debate. There's still a bunch of people that want to argue about fan subs. I don't want to argue about that anymore. It's clear how the Japanese feel about it. It's clear that it's wrong and it's hurt the industry, and those are not even debatable facts anymore. So people that are doing that, to me, I would view them as like hostile opponents. You know, in a game, I would consider them a hostile opponent and a challenge. Unfortunately, the companies that I work for and the companies in Japan have a real hard time going after people like that because anime fans feel like it's the big guys picking on the little guys, and it's them going after the real fans. Somebody that does not pay for something is not a real fan. Every time I say this, I get hell for it for 3 weeks. I don't care. I've got 4 weeks of cons, so they can't get to me. They'll be talking about me on the internet, and I'll be busy. But every time I say this, people get mad. You cannot say you're a fan of something if you don't support it. You're not allowed that title of fan. A fan is somebody who liked something and supports it with their money, thus allowing that creator or that artist or that musician to make more music that you can then buy, and they can create more music. And being a fan means you're a part of the process. You've backed that artist with your money, and you are allowing that artist to continue to do work. To steal from that artist and like what you've stolen is not the same thing. I bet I could walk into a restaurant and steal some food and I would love it. I would love that stolen food. It's not the same thing, is it? It's weird, and I hate that I am the person that ended up doing the farty old business argument or the ethics lecture. But I love anime. Most everybody in my life, outside of my family, like my mom and dad, and they even watch some anime now. My dad saw Golden Boy. Imagine that. Golden Boy would make my dad a fan of anime. But my mom was like, he was watching some anime. I was like, was there a guy like in a toilet seat? I was like, yeah, he's watching Tiffany's character again. But so funny, predictable. I was saying the reason I do this is everybody important in my life has come from the fandom community at some point, whether it's the person I'm dating, whether it's my best friend, whether it's the people I hang out with, the people I bowl with every Friday, run another convention. In fact, I've got to go work that convention next week. But I like the community, I like the anime industry, and I don't want to see it go away. I've already watched a good portion of it disappear. But, and there are days that I totally don't feel like banging my head against the wall anymore. But like I said, there are a group of people doing things like sustain the industry. And there's several, there's Anime Fans Against Bootlegging. It's a group of people that are trying to get the word out on bootleg plush and why you shouldn't buy it and stuff like that. And bootleg CDs and all that. So it's not, at least now it's not just myself, Lance Heskell from Funimation, and 3 other people fighting. it's a big group of people. But the reason that I do the newer version of this panel is to say that really, if we go anywhere at this point, it's all up to us. The anime industry has given us everything we asked for X amount of years ago when people were saying, well, if they'll do this, I'll support it. Well, they've done it all.